morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren also filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you guys. How y'all feeling? Good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you, Morgan?
Oh, I'm doing well. You know, just saying a prayer for Bambi. But let's get into some front page news.
Pray for Bambi.
Former President Trump is being charged once again in his January 6th election interference case. Now, this comes after the Supreme Court ruled last month that Trump is entitled to immunity from criminal prosecution from official acts in office. The Department of Justice said Tuesday's new indictment reflects that ruling, and the charges against Trump have been narrowed. Trump is accused of leading a conspiracy to overturn the 2020 election and disenfranchise millions of voters. The scheme allegedly culminated in a cascade of violent attacks on police at the U.S. Capitol 3 years ago. Meanwhile, former President Trump says he's reached an agreement with Vice President Kamala Harris related to the September 10th debate in Pennsylvania. Republican National Committee co-chair Laura Trump says the former president can't wait to face Harris. Let's hear more from Laura Trump.
My understanding is that they have agreed to the exact same terms that the Democrats dictated for the June 27th debate. They were very emphatic that Donald Trump agreed to those rules. He said, okay. Donald Trump was very agreeable to do any debate. He said anytime, anywhere, any place to Joe Biden. They had the June 27th debate that CNN hosted, who's no friend to Donald Trump, and it really knocked Joe Biden's political career, flat. He debated Hillary Clinton 3 times in 2016, Joe Biden twice in 2020, and took him out of his political career with the first debate in June. So I don't think it matters. Donald Trump will show up, and he will be ready for this debate.
Well, Vice President Kamala Harris is not Joe Biden. And I'm actually kind of shocked that Donald Trump agreed to all of the rules, because I thought that he would want a hot mic. Remember, that was the whole debate, that he would want a hot mic, because I would think he would want a hot mic just because, in just a straight-up debate, the vice president will dog walk Donald Trump. She'll dog walk him about policy and all of that type of stuff. But with the hot mic open, he'll attempt to overtalk her and interrupt her and insult her.
But that's what he was scared about. He was scared that, that he wouldn't be able to finish a thought because her lawyer, her attorney background, and she would be questioning him even when it was his turn to speak.
No, I think she would be respectful, because she knows how to properly debate. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't.
Yes.
Like I said, he'd overtalk her, interrupt her, insult her. But if he did that, she would still win, because he'd look like a madman.
She would have moments like she did before when she was like, "Excuse me, I'm speaking." He don't want her that. He don't want that.
Absolutely.
Yep. And that's what people will take away. You're right. The former president said it will be a stand-up debate, and they can't bring any notes. CNN reports that microphones will be muted when the other candidate speaks, and there'll be no studio audience. Now, this comes as Trump and Harris camps have been going back and forth over the rules for that planned debate. Now, meanwhile, Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance says Kamala Harris is starting to copy policies of the former president. Speaking at a campaign stop in Big Rapids, Michigan, the Ohio senator said Harris needs to quit talking about what she's going to do, and that she needs to do her job as vice president. Let's hear more from Vance.
As much as fake Kamala wants to pretend that she now agrees with Donald Trump, we've got to remind her she's the vice president right now. We had broad prosperity for every American, rich and poor. Donald Trump stopped the stupid wars and stood up to the bad guys all over the world.
So Vance said when Trump was in office, inflation wasn't a thought. Everyday items were affordable and there was peace in the world. He added that Trump had overdose deaths declining and was putting the drug cartels out of business. Thoughts?
Yeah. When they say copying policies, what does that mean? Like, there are things that we know, America needs. We want folks talking about bettering the economy. We want folks talking about, fixing the border. We want folks talking about world peace. So wouldn't both candidates be talking about those things?
Yes.
Absolutely. I agree. In fact, speaking of talking, Vice President Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, they're set to sit down with CNN for their first joint interview. The pair will be interviewed by CNN's chief political correspondent and anchor Dana Bash, in an interview set to air on Thursday at 9 p.m. So mark your calendars for that. Both Walz and Harris are embarking on a bus tour through Georgia, with the interview to be the first time Harris has sat down with a journalist for an in-depth talk since Biden has dropped out of the race for re-election. So
yeah, that's part of campaigning. You have to go out there and explain yourself to the American people. I don't think we're taking this. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask, why is she doing the first one with Tim Walz? Like, do you guys think that that's going to be like
I think
a
that's
bad
good.
thing?
No, I think it's great.
Yeah, joint, with Walz for sure. Show that they're united So,
and she has to convince them white people, okay? All those white people in the Midwest, those electoral voters, those hypothetical swing voters, those undecided. Yes, look at me here with my cuddly white man. Okay.
Oh, I looked over at you. I ain't seen no.
Man, shut up.
I was like, what white man?
All right. Well,
And
that
be
is
on the other side of the room.
That is shut up. That is front page news. All right. Thank you, Morgan. We'll see you in an hour.
yep.
Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. Phone lines are open. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren is filling in for Jess, and let's get back in some front page news. What's up, Morgan?
Yeah, let's do it. So Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, she says the high court needs to be prepared to respond to this year's presidential election.
Duh.
She told, yeah, you love that one, Charlamagne, right? She told CBS News there are legal issues that arise out of the political process that could end up before the Supreme Court. Jackson's interview comes as she's about to release her memoir, Lovely One. Jackson also addressed her strong dissent from the court's decision ruling that former presidents have broad immunity. So, yeah, we might see a little fight amongst the SCOTUSes.
And listen, I've been saying my biggest concern is that all over the country, come November, Republicans will refuse to certify the results of the election, and the Supreme Court, which is no longer a legitimate institution, will be right there with them every step of the way. We all know Trump is going to challenge the election results, and, the Supreme Court overturning the results of the election is a high possibility just because that's Trump's court. Okay, it's really just that simple. So that's the one thing I believe everybody should be raising hell about. Like, they keep using all of this little cute language, like be prepared to respond, or, we know they're going to challenge. No, they're going to attempt to steal. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Stop the steal. Use it anyways. But yeah, it sounds like she's heard you. Your calls have been heard, and you maybe at least have one person on the bench that can hear you. She's out of Florida. So speaking of Florida, Democrats in Florida seem to think that the state is up for grabs. State Democratic Party Chair Nikki Fried believes Trump running ads in the state is very telling. And Florida for Harris Walls State Director Jasmine Burney Clark claims Democrats are energized. Let's hear more comments from them.
Donald Trump is in trouble in Florida, and the Trump campaign is realizing that they can't win the presidency without the Sunshine State. Since their last poll, Trump has gained 0 ground with Florida voters.
Trump's fatigue is real. It's setting in across the state and the nation. His tired, divisive politics just don't cut it anymore. It's clear that while Donald Trump takes Florida for granted, we are just getting started. So we're reaching out to every voter, ensuring Floridians know VP Harris is fighting for reproductive freedom, lowering healthcare costs, affordable housing, and safer communities.
Yeah, so currently in the state of Florida, the Trump-Vance ticket continues to lead Harris and Walls by 4 percentage points, according to the Public Policy Polling Survey. And Trump also has begun to run campaign ads across the state, as previously mentioned. Democrats say Trump takes Florida for granted in their party. And again, Trump won Florida in 2016 and 2020.
Yeah, the last time Democrats won Florida was 08 and 012 with Obama. Listen, man, we all know the craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida. Whenever I'm in Florida, especially certain parts of Florida, last time I was in Florida, I think I was in Tampa. It looked like MAGA country to me.
It does.
I mean, they be out there with the MAGA paraphernalia, the hats, the shorts. I mean, full outfits. Like, I didn't know MAGA had full sets.
I be seeing it a lot in Jersey, though, too.
Not like Florida. No, not like Florida.
I don't need to go there.
No.
What part?
Yeah, I be seeing a lot in Jersey. A lot of flags. I be seeing a lot of Jersey and Pennsylvania heavy, too.
Yeah, I saw, though, in the beginning of everything with
Maryland.
Kamala, the villages, they came out for her.
What's the villages?
It's in
the
Florida. It's like a big retirement area where like a lot of people move to retire. It's like a huge community of people, and they had like golf carts. Everybody had their Kamala stuff out, like when she first announced the presidency.
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be done, but boy, I don't see it now.
Florida, we watching you. Well, just some more news you could use. Local news for New York. With the start of school around the corner, U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is calling for free meals for all school children in New York. Speaking at a Manhattan high school, the Democrat said that they have seen the important differences this has made for students in New York City, which already offers universal school meals thanks to funding set aside in last year's spending plan. Let's hear more from Gillibrand.
Studies show that when students have access to free school meals, they do better in school. They have better attendance rates, they have better health. They have fewer behavioral incidents and reduced suspensions. I think it put this issue front and center for all Americans to understand how important it is. And it's one that New York City has already been a leader on, which is really important because we want to make sure we can export this to our entire state, thanks to more than $130 million in funding included in last year's spending plan. And here in New York City, schools like this one have been giving students free meals since 2017.
Dropping the clues bombs for those brothers and sisters, providing free meals for those students. Do you know how hard it is to think straight when you're hungry?
Yeah.
You know, when you're starving,
absolutely.
do you know how hard it is to do anything other than think about wanting to eat? You know, a lot of us grew up on free breakfast. We grew up on free lunch, especially in the summer. So I think that is something that everybody should be. Like, that should be a no-brainer.
And not only that, that's one responsibility parents don't have to worry about in the morning. If they can't afford food, if they can't afford to pay for lunch, can't afford to pay for dinner, that's something that they know is taken care of by the schools. And I love that.
Or if they don't have that time.
Yeah, and this bill would expand to the rest of the state, providing students with that breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack free of charge, regardless of income. So they could be the kids could be coming home and feeding y'all. So that's absolutely. That is a good thing. And in unfortunate news out of Atlanta, 2 people are dead and 1 is seriously injured after a plane tire exploded at a Delta maintenance facility near Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, very busy airport. The incident reportedly happened as the plane's tire was being removed. A Delta employee and a contractor were killed, and a second airline worker, was hurt. Delta is working with local authorities to investigate what happened. FlightAware shows the Boeing 757-200 plane arrived at the airport from Las Vegas just before 9 p.m. local time.
That's crazy.
So, it's very sad.
Absolutely.
Lord have mercy.
And continue to pray for those impacted by that. And we will keep you up. I will keep you posted and updated on how that story develops. That's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on socials at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, be sure you're following the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
All right. Now, when we come back, Tamika Mallory and Angelo Pinto will be joining us. Got a lot to discuss, from DMC to voting to her new project. So don't go anywhere. Tamika Mallory, Angelo Pinto. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.